Hey, what's up, guys? There are so many obnoxious decks in Clash Royale. Every time you jump into a game, you're probably like, hey, I don't want to play against that. Well, out of all of the decks in the game, we've compiled the ones that you would hate to play against the most, and we're putting them in a single video. Heedlessly parading around with recruits and skeleton barrels and wall breakers to create unstoppable pushes that require zero thought process, but a ton of thinking to defend. Or over-leveling your archer queens with the pancake tower to make your opponent be in a permanent presence of pain. Because when you have an over-leveled archer queen, it actually one-shots spirits. Interactions that should happen don't. Or using the Supercell special of the most broken thing that Clash Royale decided to add to the game this season with the pancake tower evolved Pekka and Rune Giant Goblin Giant. Like, if you play this deck, no one likes you. You'll lose all of your friends, but you'll probably win all of your games. It's time to become an absolute menace and use the most hated decks in the game to assert dominance. And lots of love to everyone that's using creator code SIRTAG, making this channel possible. Yo, this guy's got every 20 win in the banner. Let's go. Down by law. I mean, I think we're going to drag you down, my guy. We've got Goblin Gang at the start. Definitely a phenomenal position for us because we bait out 3 elixir after slaughtering the 3 elixir princess. Plus 3 trade for a little bit of damage from the princess. Not that bad. And we get it all back and more. That is beautiful. We're going to firecracker in his face and show him what princess aspires to be. What she wishes she could do. But she can't. She's not the firecracker. Firecracker's too broken sometimes. Also, I'm going to take the damage because we want to keep the Mighty Miner and Firecracker Dream alive. Would love to pop the ability on the tower, but it's even better to have the Firecracker continuously, like, get value. So I'm just going to let the Firecracker get multiple shots here. I'm going to go Goblin Gang after the Spear Goblins lock on because I can afford to eat the damage. So we have a full health Goblin Gang. I should have pre-arrowed the Princess, and then I probably would have, like, actively been in a really good environment. We would have been burning his kingdom alive. I can go recruits here and make sure the princess doesn't target all of the recruits. It only hits one of them initially, so that's great. And then we can go for a skeleton barrel because it's going to be kind of slimed. We don't have a position where he's going to be happy because if he was able to counter the skeleton barrel with the cost-effective defense, then obviously he would have dropped it. If he had cannon, he would do that. He probably has Inferno Tower or Tesla or Bomb Tower, which is a negative trade into the Skeleton Barrel every time. And then if he logs on top of the Skeleton Barrel, well, you don't have the log for the Goblin Gang. You don't have the log for the Goblins. You don't have the log for the Wall Breakers. A lot of issues there if he wastes his log on that. And also, he's taking the Skeleton Barrel death damage on the tower. Each time the Skeleton Barrel connects, it does accumulate way more damage than the 1 elixir negative trade that we're getting is worth for him. So, yeah, you get +1 trade if you're him, but it's like awful. You don't want the +1 trade for that amount of damage. That's a trade we take all day long, brother. All right, we're gonna go Mighty Miner here because we want to be able to shut down the princess, and the Mighty Miner is gonna be pretty sturdy. You can go in for a Goblin Gang and Goblins. I do like the Goblin Gang on the right side because it's going to probably stay alive a little bit longer and deal more damage to the knight, which is the bigger threat here. If we just had Goblins, the Spear Goblins are kind of necessary. The Goblins are not gonna be enough. Now we're going to go for recruits here at the river, and we could snipe the princess and hit majority of the Spear Goblins here as well. Insanely lucrative for me. He's going to go in for a log, so we can go for Goblin Gang as well, and then throw Goblins down on the Goblin Barrel. If we drop it fast enough, we should almost full counter. Pretty close to full counter. The recruits on the tower, huge value again. Okay, so I'm going to go Spear Goblins counter with a Firecracker, and then I'm going to Mighty Miner up in this. If we can get damage, this is definitely something that he can't ignore. We're going to soar through with the Skeleton Barrel, force out more elixir, and get another negative trade for our guy. That's the Inferno Tower that I was predicting, because otherwise he would have done something. He just didn't have it in to cycle it earlier. And then we can eat the princess damage because it's not on the tower that we're worrying about. The Goblin Gang full counters the Goblin Barrel, at least if my eyes aren't broken. I think it was full. So I'm going to go for a Firecracker, hopefully on a Goblin Gang. We're going to arrows here. If the Spear Goblins allow us to like get any damage to the right side, that would have been huge. Didn't happen though. They get Goblin Gang again. I think the fake one is just not going to perform what he wants. He needs value from the real Goblin Barrel. So I'm going to try to go for Wall Breakers here on the left side because it's harder for me to get the damage on the side that he's hardcore defending. Like, he is not wanting to slip up at all. If the Spear Goblins hit the tower, we win though. Oh, and they do. Let's go. We break through. It's so cheesy to win with Spear Goblins, but you have so many little things that the opponent has to defend at all points in time. Whether it's the Spear Goblins, the Wall Breakers, the Goblin Gang, every single thing that you have, and the Firecracker especially, the fact that that can splash through onto one card and then get 300 damage when your opponent's at a low amount, they're going to get arrow cycled every time. Or the Spear Goblin gets like a couple hits. It's just so miraculously stupid how this deck always has ways of punishing opponents. If they don't play picture perfect defense, they're gonna get the law of spam put down in their face. All right, we got a game here. Ice, ice, baby. All right, we're gonna go in for our Skeleton Barrel on the right side, and I kind of like that because obviously Skeleton Barrel is one of the most obnoxious cards in the game. If they drop spells, they're gonna take a lot of damage. If they don't have a spell, then it's horrible for them. So dude ended up taking a -1 trade with an Electro Wizard, which is not a trade that you would ever want to do because you're not only taking damage, but you're taking 200 damage for a -1 trade. That is diabolical. I'm telling you guys right now, this is definitely the easiest deck in the game from my perception. Maybe because Recruits are my main deck, but I just think this is the most brainless deck in Clash right now that is successful if you eliminate things that are going to get nerfed. Like, I'm not talking about Rune Giant as much. Like, we'll definitely include Rune Giant in this video, and we'll show you guys, you know, how good it is. But for the most part, I want to be showing decks, like the ones that are going to be strong for a while, so then this video remains relevant for you guys if you're watching it like 6 months from now or a year from now. This deck will still be really good, so you know it's not going anywhere. The thing is, Rune Giant, Goblin Giant, that's a really gimmicky strategy, and you'll see how good it was once upon a time if you're watching this later on. But that thing is not going to stay strong for freaking forever. I'm going to go in for Recruits here at the bridge. I do want to go in for Wall Breakers on the left side as well. Ideally, we can have Recruits Wall Breakers barrel through in the left side and just take his tower. I mean, this is how the game is played. I'm not even joking. The dude has Dark Prince, Electro Wizard, and he still loses. I mean, he's going to go all in here, but if I get like a Goblin gang down here and then I can go in for Goblins afterward, we're definitely going to be able to pull back the Dark Prince and not lose the tower to Electro Wizard. Because Electro Wizard isn't that scary of a card. It's super easy to defend. Also, the funny thing is, if the Battle Ram connects to the tower, then the Barbarians lock onto the Mighty Miner. And sure, you could Magic Archer on me, but then I could Firecracker it. Or I could pop Ability. Okay, cool. Yeah, I expected that. I mean, usually if the opponent is forced to do it, they will do it. So that was the only play that he had to deal damage. And I was like, okay, yeah, you can go for it. I'm going to take 700 damage. No big deal. Firecracker 2-shots it. And then he doesn't have arrows for the Wall Breakers. Oh my goodness. It's beautiful. All right. So one of my favorite plays to do with Recruits is stacking up 4 in the side that you want to go for, because, you know, 4 for the side that you want to go for. The math is mathing. The words check out. It's equilibrium there. But in reality, like, you just don't want to be overcommitting as much. So the one downside is he is going to have so much crap on the right side, and he's going to lightning on me, interestingly enough. All right, you know what? Let's just do this. We're going to take the tower here anyway. We're going to go for Mighty Miner, and I do think that it's going to be problematic for our guy, because if we can get this Mighty Miner on the tower into an Electro Wizard, I don't even think it's that bad. If we're able to get a little bit of damage, it would be funny. And I don't think the Mighty Miner is going to take tower, but it's pretty obnoxious because he has to go for Dark Prince and spend other elixir that he doesn't want to. If the Battle Ram ended up hitting us, that would have been annoying. We can go for this, and as long as we're able to stop the Pekka, then that's the only thing that matters to me. So he uses his arrows too. What if we do this? We just spam everything. We just go like this, like an indiscriminate idiot, and just drop all of our cards randomly at the river. And just in the middle. There's no way he's defending that. This is not possible. Like, Evolve Wall Breakers with Skeleton Barrel, if they just get anywhere near your tower and just explode near your tower, you lose. With their immaculate port in the river, all they have to do is travel 2 seconds, little bit of steps, and then they achieve their fitness goals. Let's go! We are matching into someone that finished 1,982 in the world in 2v2, so we are matching into better and better players every game. Top ranked 2v2 player looking at the banner, and he's running one of the most toxic decks ever, Goblin Giant. Okay, so let's see if we can beat this annoying strategy that is practically played by everyone. Oh wait, he's running a different version of it. A little bit of spicy strategy from our guy. He's got Bowler, which is way worse for us because we're running Recruits. A lot of you guys have been asking me, how do you beat Bowler? How do you beat these decks? But in reality, if you play well, you can pretty much beat anything with this deck. I don't think that there are that many problems because you can create problems for your opponent by spamming. So you perpetually get them to respond to you. And then if they're defending and they're working on like how to counter you, then a lot of times it's checking their skill. It's checking their defensive availabilities. If they don't have the right card order, they're kind of cooked. If they don't play correctly, like they're going to get bashed by a wall breaker exploding in their face, even though he's like a top 2,000 player in the world. He's wondering how the heck that happened. And I don't know, man. I just think that Evolve wall breakers and regular wall breakers decide to do that sometime. Not necessarily always mine, but whenever I play against it, that's what this deck does to me. So the Firecracker splashing onto the bats too is awesome. And I think he's going to be running the Lightning version with this deck. I do want our Firecracker to die, as weird as that is to say. I just don't really want to activate King Tower for our guy. And then we're going to simultaneously spam on both sides because we can augment the Skeleton Barrel with a Mighty Miner ability if we want. Another amazing thing is just having the Skeleton Barrel thrive on the tower and force out a small spell so that we can go for a Glorious Goblin Gang upon his Goblin Giant. This guy's very smart. He's actually a very, very good player. Lesser players would have messed up and like completely like, you know, not seized that opportunity to get more damage with the Spear Goblin. So yeah, I think playing aggressive there on his end was probably smarter. Maybe it wasn't the best because we were still able to defend, but usually with Goblin Giant decks, you want to be able to at least take one tower or you're going to get cooked. Like, he will not be able to defend against us, and I think he realizes that, so he's going to try to do some tower trade shenanigans soon. All right, wait, why is he fully focusing on defense? This is kind of weird. I didn't expect him to do that. We could go in for arrows and then maybe go Skeleton Barrel as well because he has to deal with wall breakers and recruits, and I mean, this is a lot of stuff going at him. Both wall breakers connected. That is humongous value. All right, we're going to get our goblins down, and then I think we go recruits. As weird as it is to say, it's not actually a bad play. Going for Mighty Miner kind of stifles our offensive because it's going to be a little bit slower where the recruits will be charging. I think he's going to arrows on this. So I'm going to go Goblin Gang. I'm going to wait for him to arrows possibly. If he doesn't, then it's okay. I'm going to just go Skeleton Barrel. Keep our elixir relatively low here. Ooh. You know what? Still fine. He's probably going to lose the Fisherman, right, to Skeleton, so then I don't have to worry about it. Never mind. I guess we're going to go in for recruits here at the bridge because we do want to kill the bowler before it starts gearing up and getting us in a problematic position. We're going to firecracker here to lock onto his bowler. And then we're going to go in for wall breakers on the left side. Oh, he misses the arrows, and one of the recruits is still alive. We're just going to arrows him. We're going to show him how it's done. And that was not very fun for him. We had a monopoly on the match the entire time. He could never go in for good Goblin Giants. Every time he was, it's like, do I drop my arrows on offense and get cooked by Skeleton Barrels and wall breakers? And even when it felt like good moments and opportunities for him, we were still able to get back to a recruits, Goblin Gang, or Goblins, and we still destroyed Goblin Giants that I didn't think I was able to defend. So this deck is impressively strong in situations that I didn't expect, and I don't think it's very fair for how easy it is to play. If you want free wins without thinking too much, check out one of the decks that we played today, and let me know how it goes for you in the comments. You guys might not believe me, but this Bridge Spam deck is actually one of the higher skill decks in the game right now, in a meta where Goblin Giant, Pekka Evolution, and some of the lowest skill cards like Rail Recruits and Lavahound Bridge Spam are just going to be like the strongest decks in the game. And yes, it's Lavahound Bridge Spam. It's not even Lavahound Balloon. They literally go in for a lightning on top of like Archer Queens or any range card that you have, and then they'll use the Pancake Tower to level up the Lavahound, and then the Lavahound pups will take 3 shots for your Princess Tower to kill when they're over leveled. So it's literally just Bridge Spam with a Lavahound, throwing cards behind it. These decks just don't require any thought process, but when you play this type of strategy, it does require a little bit of skill because you want to keep your opponent's elixir low, and you want to be simultaneously spending elixir on both sides so that they don't have the ability to keep up with you. So that's the way that this deck works. Also, if both elixirs are low, you can go in for an over-leveled card like an Archer Queen, and the Archer Queen will get a lot of value because if it's level 16, number 1, it doesn't die to lightning, so that's a major benefit. Number 2, if you use the Archer Queen effectively and you apply pressure at the bridge and it's over leveled and the opponent doesn't have elixir and you don't have elixir and then you drop the ability, it will shred like a 4 elixir card, lock onto the tower, and just win you the game. So just think of it from the perspective of, oh, I am going to constantly keep up the aggression because my opponent doesn't have that much elixir and they can't defend over leveled cards then, or they're just going to get bad trades. So we're going to go for an arrows on the firecracker. It will die. And then the bandit might stay alive here if we're lucky. I'm going to go for a heal spirit because number 1, his Dagger Duchess ammo is limited. Number 2, we've got a level 16 card, so I kind of want to take advantage of that. We're going to eat the wall breakers because we've already taken a lot of damage to the left side. And I want to get the Royal Ghost counter pushing the left side anyway. So kind of like that. That's the lane that I'm going to be going in. And he's going to have evolved skeletons with Mega Knight. So this is a weird deck. Sometimes you match into people on ladder, they just don't even understand what they're playing. You look at it and you're like, how did you come up with this strategy? And they're like, Jake, I'm not going to answer you because I don't even know. So I can guarantee you for a fact that he's going to Mega Knight on the left side. He sees a bandit and he sees an Archer Queen. So he is going to Mega Knight that. Let's go in for a battle ram on the right. And then let's go for an arrows maybe on the firecracker. If we can kill that, that would be awesome. He's got a Mega Knight, so I'm not even going to do anything besides pop an ability here. That should be able to shred the Mega Knight to the point that we won't really have to respond to it. We can maybe just go in for a bandit and kill it quite easily. The bandit will get over leveled too. Oh, no. That was not supposed to happen.
You just have to say that
oh my gosh.
you're not really fine.
That was one of the best plays from the opponent that I've ever thought would be possible. The Goblin Barrel pulled back our bandit and I got destroyed. I wonder if he did that on purpose. Probably, right? So we're in a magic archer here. We've got over-leveled barbarians on the left. They're not even evolved barbarians, and they're going to do them dirty. What does this game come to at this point? We got people spamming Mega Knights left and right. We have like barbarians that are unevolved, just naked, straight up barbarians strutting their stuff and snagging the tower with their swords. This guy's got mini Pekka in the banner, and it's time for us to showcase the superiority of the evolved Pekka. I do think that Pekka is just disgusting how it's been in at the top of the game for multiple seasons now, and it's been traumatizing top players. If you go on any media platform whatsoever, you'll see a top player in Clash Royale screeching at the top of their lungs, "Clash Royale, why haven't you nerfed this card?" And you just like look back and you look at them and you're like, you know, you do have a point, but you are mauling over a mobile video game like a maniac. And it's pretty funny to witness it. So as you play Pekka more and more, you'll get a bit more of a grip on what is scary and what is not. One of the scariest things from a Pekka player's perspective is guards. So right there, his guards, phenomenal at shutting down my Pekka. But if he doesn't end up cleaning up our distractions as well, then he's going to get a bad interaction. So one of my favorite plays, and one of the reasons I was able to win the 20-win challenge with guards and fishermen, is I would pull my opponent's Pekkas with the fishermen and then use guards and then captivate their Pekkas directly on top of the guards. And then they would never target the things that they wanted. So something to keep in mind if you guys want to win more matches. Would highly recommend that. Using fishermen and guards and sniping Pekkas when opponents aren't ready. You can't do it very often. You can only do it like once or twice a match, because if you do it like every time, then it's really predictable and you just lose. All right. So we're going to go in for guards and hunter, and maybe we can one-shot this queen. Oh, if I was able to do that, it would have been funny. It didn't necessarily work out as planned. He just went rapid fire mode on us. But here's the thing. We're going to take the tower, and even if you go in for a guards, we're just going to arrows rage. You can't defend that. It's over. Tower is taken. Even if you lumberjack, you're wasting your elixir. And I kind of like this for us. I'm not going to lie. If our opponent wants to sacrifice that amount of elixir to preserve a tower that is not possible to stay alive, then I'm vibing. We can go for a Goblin Giant and also use our Rune Giant, and this time have the Rune Giant supporting the Goblin Giant, and then the Pekka is left alone, and I think I might be able to pull off the play that I was talking about. So before he's ready, I'm going to pull in the Pekka, and then I'm going to immediately go guards on the Pekka so it dies faster. So even though he has a level 16 evolved Pekka in our face, it's going to die before he even gets to see the light of day. And we're going to have it our way where I'm able to rage on top of this Archer Queen. Wait, is there a shot that I can go in for a 3 crown? There's actually a chance. Screw it. I'm going to try to do it. So we're going to go in for a Rune Giant and also a Hunter, and we just need the projectile buff. That's it. He doesn't have guards anymore, so if he's not looking, this could do a lot of damage. One more shot, please. Come on, man. I think I had it on the tips of my fingers. But we were still able to deceive another Pekka player with our guards and fishermen and collect a pretty dominant win. If you want to see more gameplay on any of the decks that I played today, check out the pinned comment for more gameplay on my main channel with all of the decks. I hope you guys have an amazing rest of your day, and I'll see you in the next one.